Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. Now, CGL 2026 Tier 1 is around 60 days away from us. 2 months, maybe 5-10 days, kind of, we have more. Now, here I am with a session that will help you to master this 2026 CGL Tier 1 I'm talking about. Right? What will be the plan for this? How should you utilize this 60 days to the best of your abilities so that you can maximize your score? That is exactly what we are going to discuss in this session. Now, without further delay, let's look at this roadmap. Let's look at this roadmap, sir. Sir, first things first. Sir, what approach you need to take now? You see, the passive learning stage is over for most of the students, most of you guys, right? So this passive learning stage, learning something new, those days are gone, sir. Now work with what you already have achieved, what you already know, and focus on hyper practice and execution. That should be your proper strategy for these next 60 days. Shift 100% of your focus to hyper practice, structural revision, the most important part, and mastering the mock test cycle. Why? Because we all know the pattern has changed this year, right? So, pattern has changed. So, you need to be very much familiar with the new pattern, which is now having sectional timers. So giving mocks becomes the most important thing during these last couple of months, right? So it will be purely based on practice. Now I have divided this into three phases. So day 20 till day 25, you will do something. Then 26 day to 45, that will be another phase. And the last 15 days, that will be a different phase. That will be your peak performance phase. So here you need to consolidate this first phase one. So what you would do? Sir, you identify your weak areas first and memorize high yield facts. Again, this is like not only for quant, high yield facts means GK, GS I'm talking about, right? And also some from quant's perspective, you need to remember what? You need to go through the advanced maths formulas, especially the mensuration, the geometries, the trigonometries, those things, the identities. Now, and establish a baseline for mock routine. So again, that means these 25 days, what you will do, you will focus on what is your weak areas and establish a baseline. Now, baseline you can establish through giving sectional mocks. These 25 days, I will say go for the sectionals first. So give sectional mocks in whichever area you feel you lack. If you are struggling with quant speed, which most of you are, so in that case, giving a one sectional mock every day for quant can yield a very, very, very good result. Now the the phase two becomes your hyper practice session. This is transitioning into pure exam mode and build mental stamina, meaning going through this or sitting through that 1 hour with 100% of your focus shifted towards solving the maximum questions as possible. That requires a stamina, mental stamina. So that you need to build, and this is when you will start giving your full marks. And remember, sir, this is the stage you should give. I will go for at least one mock a day, if possible give two as well. So at least I will go for 10 mocks per week. You can, if that is you can do, that is the best. Now please understand, I'm saying 10 mocks a week, that doesn't mean you will only go for solving the mocks or giving the mocks. If you are giving 10 mocks, analyzing all those 10 mocks is as important as giving those 10 mocks. So again, if you are taking 1 hour for the mock, you should take somewhere between 1.5 to 2 hours to analyze the mocks properly. If required, you solve the questions once again. If you have left some questions, solve those. If you have made mistakes, solve those again. So this is your hyper practice. This phase will enable you to kind of to enable to kind of achieve that peak performance stage, which is the phase 3, last 15 days. Last 15 days, na, you break it down. Last 15 days meaning 2 weeks. So this is break it down in week 1 and week 2. So this week 1, again here also you will give at least 2 mocks a day. And these scores will kind of show where you are standing with respect to the competition. These scores are the most important scores here. So do whatever you need to do till day 45, 1.5 months from now. So for like achieving a very good score during this last week. And this last week, you need to kind of take it a little bit slow. You need to calm down a little bit. You need to focus on kind of relaxing your mind. Kind of give mocks. I'm not saying you don't need to give mocks. You give mocks, but again, not more than one a day. You need to consolidate everything that you have done. So revision becomes another key part over here again. Clear, everyone? Now, this is the like 3 phases that I have divided. Now, next one, sir, the phase 1 blueprint for day 1 to 25. That means the first phase. You see what I've given you? You need to, like, just if you break it down, this is your practice, not your classes. The classes will be outside of this window. You see, I have not given you any impossible tasks. The 7 hours I've given you, you need to solve 7 hours. You need to do 7 hours of practice along with maybe 3 to 4 hours of like classes, not more than that. So do you see what you do? Sir, quant, you need to do 2 hours every day. The most focused the area will be advanced maths revision, as I told you earlier as well, speed building for arithmetic, and daily formula notebook you can make, or formula notebook or a error book, whatever you are comfortable with. Reasoning, sir, focus on the tricky topics. Definitely number series, characters, syllogs, those are all those a little tricky topics. So kind of practice those things for most, because these topics requires you to practice more than compared to the other topics. And again, use sectional tests, as I told you, to increase the speed. And that is true for all the sections. It's not only about quant or reasoning, it's for everything. English, 1 hour for vocabulary, 1 hour for grammar rules, the miscellaneous types of topics. And RC as well. RC is also very important. And GSL, you will go 1 hour for current affairs, 1 hour for the static part of the current, of the GA section. So these should be your goal for the next 25 to 30 days. Again, please understand, this phases I've divided. This is a very general or kind of generalized blueprint. Now, if you feel, sir, your basics, the consolidation phase is kind of already almost you are there. Take 10 days more to kind of build it better. And so from day 11 to 45, you take extra few days for the phase 2 itself, because phase 2 is the most important part. And again, if you need a little more, if you say I have started late, I need a little bit more time for consolidation, take 5 days from here as well. So in that case, the week 1 will kind of diminish a little bit for you. But again, you need to change, or you need to fine tune this strategy according to what you need or where you stand currently. Next phase, sir. Sir, again, the phase 2 blueprint. Sir, mock and analysis. As I told you, 3 hours. Why? Sir, 1 hour for the mock and 2 hours for the analysis. Right? So this is kind of 100% you need to do. If possible, like try to, again, on weekends where the classes are not there most of the time. So in that case, you use that extra 3 hour session. Let's say if you are taking 3 to 4 hours of classes every day, use those 3 to 4 hours for another mock. That's why I've given you the number 10 mocks per week. Sir, now the weak area fixing, you should devote at least 2.5 hours to that, to fix your weak areas. Because the more mocks you take, one thing that will happen, that you will keep on identifying the parts where you are still weak, where you need to work a little bit. So again, figure out those areas from the analysis and then work on those areas. Right? That's the goal. Now, you see, So just to give you an idea, if you miss a geometry formula, let's say while giving a mock, you couldn't solve one question because you missed a formula, that formula didn't come to you. So in that case, solve 20 similar variations right away. That will give you, that means if another question comes from that concept, I will be the first one to solve that because I have worked on my weak areas. Now, the last but not the least is daily revision drills. So rapid reads of English flashcards or English vocabulary, grammars, everything. Review static GK notes. Answer speed drill for maths. Speed drill for maths. Now, next please. Sir, you see the mock intensity I have given you. The what you need to do. Sir, daily mocks till day 54, 55. And last 7 days, 6 to 7 days, you need to cool down a little bit, right? One light mock you can take every 2 days, or maybe if you want, you can take one mock a day as well. That's up to you. Depends on how you have prepared so far. Now, PYQ revision becomes very important this time. So again, you like no new questions, just the same questions over and over again. That's very important. And mock time management and mistake review will be the key things over here in during this phase. Next, sir. Sir, you see, the mock data engine is what? The score is like what you are scoring in that mock. Whether you are scoring a 120 or a 150, that is only 10% of this. It's not that important. The most important part is the actionable data that you will find through the analysis. Again, analysis is more important than giving mocks. If you haven't been able to analyze, let's say, a couple of mocks, do not for one day, please don't go for any new mocks. First, you analyze those two mocks, then only you go for the next one. Why? Because please understand, let's say you have made a couple of mistakes in one mock. And if you just go for the next mock, those mistakes will remain as mistakes. You first need to solve those areas first. So you need to correct those mistakes, gain a little bit, then only go for the next mock, where then you will see you are scoring 2-3 marks more in there. That's the ideal way of using mocks for your advantage. Next comes, sir, the three category analysis, the silly mistakes. So the mistakes we are talking about now, the concept gaps and the time gaps. You see, you can leave a question or make a wrong answer in three ways. Either you will make a silly mistake that all of us make, the more speed we want to achieve, the greater is the silly mistake. Accuracy goes down. Speed and accuracy, as I've told you, they are actually inversely proportional. So again, you need to correct those. It only comes from practice. There is no other way of rectifying your silly mistakes. Concept gaps are those which you don't know. Let's say there is a very typical formula, like typical question. Let's say, just to give you an idea, a sphere is kept inside a cone. So it is a very typical concept. Either you know or you don't. There is nothing in between. So those concept gaps you need to fill. That also, now how to identify those concept gaps? The more mocks you will give, you will automatically identify. So these are the areas where I need to focus. And said the time gaps, which is a very important section this year. Why? Because quant, everybody will struggle with the question, like the time. So you need to understand and you need to work on this as much as possible. Clear, everyone? Next. Sir, this is the mistake notebook. I've given you a format, sir. You can use, you see, zone 1 for general awareness, the GA, and zone 2 for tactical parts. Okay. You see, I've just given you a couple of examples. Digital root method. This is how you solve this maxima minima. Or it's a time and work shortcut. Anything you can work like that. So again, simple things where you need the conceptual parts, the tactical parts. You can make a notebook. And for the other part, the general awareness, which is a big Achilles heel for many people, you can work a little bit here as well. Right? Next, but not the least, the 2-round funnel, right? The sweep and the deep work. Now, this is what, sir? This is again, This you cannot just say 35 to 40 minutes in one go and 20 to 25 minutes in one go. That's not the case anymore because of the sectional timing. So this is the combined consolidated time I have given. So please understand what you need to do. Every round is 15 minutes. So for quant, if I take example, first 10 minutes, use this 10 minutes to solve maximum questions, maximum easy questions, right? And the last 5 minutes that you have, there you will go for the moderate level questions. Now again, you need to practice a little bit to be able to solve all the almost 15 easy questions or 15 to 16 easy questions during these 10 minutes, right? So again, that will require a lot of practice. It doesn't come cheap, you can say. Now, last but not the least, this is your sectional timers. So again, you can understand. Please understand, this is the order of the questions or order of the papers. So please understand one very simple logic here. Sir, the whole exam is kind of going towards quant. So again, you need to build the momentum in order to go towards that section. If these sections doesn't go well, there is a less chance that quant will go well. And this year, the deciding factor will be the quant, if I'm assuming all these sections you have done carefully. And also, the high scoring, say again, if your strength, you are thinking I'll outscore everybody in quant, and so I can relax a little bit in GA, that's not the case anymore. Because even if you want to outscore, you cannot outscore by a huge margin to outscore the others by a huge margin. Why? Because the time is limited. 15 minutes for you, 15 minutes for everybody. So you cannot build that gap. So all four sections you have to put very, very, very much focus. Now, last but not the least, this is the daily mastery loop. So again, you need to do the mock, you need to give the mock, then do the analysis to extract the diagnostic data, then go for the kind of capture intelligence. So again, you just need to go through the whatever mistakes, deploy fixes, and compound this particular growth cycle. Again, next day, again it will start from another mock. You do the same process for the same thing for that mock. Again, next day another mock, and go on like that. So this is your last 60 days blueprint of what you should do. Now again, if you want to revise and say, sir, what chapter should I go for? What should be our chapter by chapter conclusion? For that, we have developed something for you guys. Sir, this is the SSC study planner for 2026 candidates, which is freely available to everyone for downloading. You can download this for free, right? So what you need to do, you just need to give your email here and download through this particular link. So this is this particular study planner, the link to this, it is oliveboard.com/SSC study planner. But again, I'll pin this link in the description box so that you can go directly to this particular page and download the study planner. So this is a comprehensive study planner which gives you every chapter wise dedication especially for the first 25-30 days. So this is what it is. I will strongly recommend each and everyone to use this planner to maximize your score. You don't need to do anything on your own. We have done this on your behalf. Now, with that being said, sir, thank you so much everyone for joining me. I hope this particular session was useful to everyone, and I'll see you guys again in the next strategy session. Till then, please take care. And if you have any queries, any comments, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to reply. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.